Hello! I'm back again with a new Plan With Me video. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Marie and I am a beginner bullet journaler and watercolor painter. And I am sharing my journey of bullet journal and watercolor paint here in my YouTube channel. If you want to on board with my journey, please do hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. For October's theme, I chose fall woodland animals. Last month, so October, I used just black and white. While I really enjoyed the spooky vibe of it, I really missed using colors. So this month, I went full on color. And I really wanted to do the fall vibe theme before the fall fully disappears. Enough for the intro, and let's get into it. For this month's cover page, I decided to paint fall forest. For this paint, I am painting on the watercolor paper. After reading the paper, I am painting the background with very light yellow to give warm fall tone. And with orange color, I marked vaguely where the road should be, then I painted it with yellow-green where the tree leaves should be. After that, it is all about adding details of trees, bushes, and shadows on the road. For the last details of yellow and orange leaves, I used gouache paint so that they can pop up from the dark paint underneath. Finally, the detail that I was most afraid of was the sun rays. It is always challenging for me to paint rays of light, but I wanted to try because it adds such a warmth to the paint. I used white gouache with a little bit of a lemon yellow color, and I buffered with the water for the subtle effect. I think it came out just fine, like giving me the vibe of welcoming to this fall forest. For this month, to add a little bit of warmth and vintage vibe, I decided to use craft paper. I crumble with my hand. By the way, it was such a fun and stress relieving. It was my first time to put craft paper in my journal, so you will see I had some try and error. Move on to the quote page. First, I am painting simple wreath with simple autumn colored leaves. November is special to me because it has my birthday. Well, while birthday gives me joyfulness, it also gives me a little bit of sadness because I'm getting 1 year older. Don't you relate the feeling, of course? So I chose this quote, "We turn not older with years, but newer every day." Move on to the monthly page, starting with writing November with my dark brown Acrylograph pen. Next, I'm using dark yellow Acrylograph pen to draw the calendar and boxes. And to write numbers and small headers, I used burnt orange colored. These 3 Acrylographs pen will be repeatedly used throughout the remainder of the pages because this color palette is perfectly matching to the fall-inspired theme. And of course I made stupid mistakes in writing numbers, but it was an easy fix. For this page, I decided to paint squirrels. My reference pictures are this. Actually, those cute squirrel pictures made me decide to go on with this month's theme. As usual, I'm starting with light yellow color for the base, and the rest of it is just adding up details. Usually when I'm painting watercolor, I always have a moment of panic because in the middle of the process, my painting looks really ridiculous. But I kind of learned that if you trust the process, my painting would eventually come together. I should admit, my squirrels are not as cute as the pictures, but at least they look like squirrels. When I was adding little berries on the right top corner, I accidentally swiped with my hand before it dried. Of course I panicked, but I have a good vintage craft paper to hide my mistake, so here I'm putting craft papers here and there and repaint these berries. Move on to the depression tracker. This is what I'm doing instead of usual mood tracker to effectively track my depression level, which has been really helping me out. For this page, I chose to paint cute little fox. First, I'm painting background with washed out colors, and as I'm waiting for my background to dry, I'm writing with title and just randomly put numbers around the paint representing 30 days of the November. I will just color on top of the numbers according to my depression level without any solid margin or sketching. We will see how it would look after at the end of the November. I am adding details in. When you're trying to paint animals, it is always the hardest part to draw the eyes because it will for sure change the vibe of the animal. It can look scary, it can look weird accordingly to the eyes. So I was anxious and used my SAKURA Micron pen for precise drawing. I am now working on my workout tracker. I haven't been used my habit tracker because it did not work for me, but recently I started working out again in as a million years, so I wanted to record that. My goal is very small, where I decided to work out at least twice a week. I know it is barely a solid workout plan, but because I'm working crazy hours and I just don't need more pressure on me. So I just decided to start with pressureless little plan and go from there. I think it is better than nothing, at least. For this, I just put simple table where I can just log out my activity. And below that, I am drawing another fox. Sorry for the weird lighting, but it was late in the afternoon and sun rays picked through my window. But honestly, I really enjoyed the late afternoon sunlight enough not to fix it. Move on to the daily log. For this page, I chose an owl to paint. For sharp edges, you may have already noticed from the last page, I encircled washi tape. And especially for this paint, washi tape looked really pretty around this, so I briefly thought about not removing it. I may do it in my future setup. I did not like how my owl turned out. This would be my worst animal from this setup. Move on to the next setup. For this page, I chose rabbit. This page, after daily log, has been usually for a verse from the Holy Bible, but for a little bit of change, I decided to try one prayer a day, and we will see how it works for me. Because this rabbit is just white, it was easier to paint. The rabbit in my reference photo did not have the eyes. No, it did have an eye. I guess they were covered by the fur. And it looks really cute, and that's why I chose this one. But because my painting skill is not that good, so it looks like simply it doesn't have eyes. To this point, I'm still considering adding eyes so that it doesn't look like poor rabbit who doesn't have eyes, if that makes sense. Next, I am painting a deer for my brain dump page. I really ended up liking the colors for a deer. It kinds of reminding me a Siamese cat. Now I'm looking at this page. I wish I could have worked a little bit more on the background, especially the middle yellow area where it should have been more detail of reeds. But I got really tired by this point as always. For the next page, I'm working on YouTube planner page. I kept this page simple where I draw just a simple page border and a little bit of fall botanical decorations. Finally, we reached weekly page. For the first time, I'm trying Dutch door for the weekly. So I cut out the upper part of the 4-week worth of pages, and I am painting Autumn Mountain on the upper part of the first page and the last page of the weeklies. After applying first layer of trees, While I am waiting for that to dry, I'm drawing boxes for the weekly. I am using rolling weekly setup, which has been working really well for me. My second layer of trees are in yellow and orange. Last year, when we still lived in Washington State, we had a weekend getaway to the secluded place in Montana. It was late fall, and the way to Montana showed us this awesome scenery where the majority of the mountains were covered in evergreen trees with pops of yellow and orange trees. This reference picture reminded me of that wonderful time. However, painting of this was time-consuming and actually boring. So the result of this is not very satisfying, but whenever I'm looking at this page, I'm going back that wonderful memory. And this paint will be always there for the whole 4 weeks because of the Dutch door. So here we are, the flip through. Because my last month's theme was just black and white, I really enjoyed coming back to this blast of warm toned color. So that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video and theme. I worked really hard this time to make it on time. Yay! Have a good day or good night wherever you are, and your November would be full of cozy and warm moments. Bye!